and welcome to another edition of InterDreamTeam. Just me and the old boy Ross tonight. How's it going, mate?
All good.
Ready for fresh haircut for the tournament?
Yeah, that's what it's for good luck. Out with the old, in with the new. Hopefully England will have the same approach after their terrible friendly performances. Well, certainly the last one anyway.
Yeah, so I was going to mention it to you. Any thoughts or takeaways from the last week or so from the friendlies that have been going on?
Well, you know, a couple of strikers that pretty much everyone have been looking at continue to score well. Lukaku getting a brace, Ronaldo getting a brace. Other teams looking in decent form. Belgium, Netherlands. You know, France got a bit stifled the other day, didn't they? But it is only a friendly with a heavy rotation. So,
before we move on, I got serious question marks, serious crippling doubts over Harry Kane and his chocolate back. Like, I don't know. I just don't know if he's all right, mate. I don't think he's. I got terrible doubts over him.
It's a difficult one with him coming in the way that Southgate played. I mean, he got one chance, didn't he, in the last game, really, and he barely got the ball. Apart from that, we just played so badly. It's hard to really fully assess how good he is because he's like that sort of. He likes to get the ball, doesn't he? He likes to come a little bit deeper, get the ball, go in behind. He needs to have the ball quite regularly to when he's playing well. And he scores quite a lot of tap-ins. So I don't know. I don't know if he is anything wrong with him or if it's just more a symptom of it. We're just not playing very good football.
I've seen quite a few things about picking up a sort of injury at the back end of the season, and he's nursing an issue with his back. So all right, yeah. So there's just a little reminder of the groups. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone's pretty familiar with who's got who now. If you're from the fantasy football world, you've probably been consuming a fair bit of content from the last couple of weeks. So yeah, not long now. Germany, Scotland kicking off the whole tournament on Friday night. The mini league is growing daily. Something to bear in mind. We have been sending out the player database emails to everyone who's joined the league. But in some circumstances, that has been going to people's spam folders. So if you have signed up to our mini league and you haven't found the database yet in your inbox, then yeah, just double check your spam folder and hopefully it'll be in there for you. Any issues, just reach out to us on socials and we'll get you sorted out. All right, mate. So yeah, that's growing nicely. 27 confirmed. Hoping to get sort of 30, 35 in by the end. So yeah, 700 quid in the old kitty. All right, so you know we've both been tinkering with our teams now for a week or two, and it's pretty evident that to accommodate 5 or 6 of the premium players, we're going to need a couple of budget boys in our team. So what I've done is I've just made a little team of players for 3 million or under, players who I think are decent, really good assets, and good value for money. So going to burst a few people's bubbles here, and including my own, because I was trying to keep the Moldovan. Fuck's sake. Yeah, going to burst a few people's bubbles here, mate, because I was trying to keep the old Moldovan a bit of a secret, the Romanian goalkeeper. For me, nailed on for number one. He played all 8 of their qualifiers. And yeah, 5 clean sheets during the qualifying campaign. He's a 26-year-old, plays for Rapid Bucharesti, and 1.5 million. Found a decent asset in their back line. Orban plays for Leipzig, 31 years old. He's obviously not a starter for Leipzig, or he's either had a bit of an injury laden season because he's only managed 22 games. But his Hungarian international career, 43 caps, 18 clean sheets, 6 goals and 2 assists. And for the qualifying campaign, he managed 4 games, chipped in with 2 goals, 1 assist, and 3 clean sheets. So when he plays, I'm going to say that Hungary are better when he's on the pitch. Oh, Hanko, Feyenoord fullback, 26 years old, and he bloody loves it, doesn't he? 10 games in the qualifying campaign, and 5 goal involvements, 3 assists and 2 goals. Was in the team for 5 of their clean sheets as well, and bloody decent. 2 million. Yeah, Dragusin, obviously not a starter for Spurs, but they parted with some decent money for him. Only 22 years old, so fitter than a butcher's dog. And he was involved for 6 of their clean sheets during the qualifying campaign. Played all 10 games, 15 caps for Romania, and 7 clean sheets. So 1 in 2. You slip one of these budget defenders in your team, and if they return 1 clean sheet during the group stage, then happy days, right?
Absolutely. And I think from looking at the teams that people are putting together, you're going to need to have at least 2, maybe 3 pretty budget players to get the premium in.
I think what you and I have both sort of decided is the sort of way to go for us is we're going to have a key group throughout the group stage of sort of 8 or 9 players who we're likely to hold for the whole group stage. And then we're going to have three players in our team who we're going to be constantly looking to, attack the fixtures with those players as the group stage go on. And I think that's a very good way to go about it. So, what do you reckon to that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've got to bear in mind that you need to start with for these group stages, with a very solid side, because there's three lots of the group games for every team. Admittedly, you need to look closely at the rules because they all renew after the group stages, so you get unlimited transfers between the group stages and then the next round, and then 5 fixtures after each round after that. So there's plenty of them to go round. So you don't have to think too far ahead. I know people are looking at progression in the tournament and all of that. You don't actually have to worry about that too much because you get unlimited transfers when it moves over, so you can completely change your team.
I've gone for Souček, Veerman, Baumgartner, Sigankov, and Tadic. Touched on Tadic, 35 years old, playing now in the Turkish Super League, Fenerbahce. 55 games he managed for them this season, and 15 goals and 15 assists was his return. He is now 106 caps under his belt for Serbia, and not a bad player at all. One who excites me more and who's been in and out of my draft a little bit is Sigankov at Ukraine. Had a very good qualifying campaign, 7 games for him and 4 goal involvements, 3 goals and 1 assist. Plays for Girona. Obviously had a very successful season with them in La Liga. And not bad at all for Sigankov. Probably again, like we're saying, not for the Belgium game, but could be one to pivot on for the Romania and Slovakia game. Christian Baumgartner for the Austrians. Once again, you're going to want to leave him alone for the France fixture. But after that, I think he's fair game. Another incredible qualification campaign for a 2.5 million asset. 7 games, 3 goals, 2 assists, plays for Leipzig. And for his international career, he's got 36 caps and 18 goal involvements. So he's returning 1 in 2 when he pulls on the national team jersey. So, I don't see any problem with slipping Baumgartner in my team.
Right in the Baumgartners.
And fucking right in the Baumgartners, mate. Veerman for the Dutch. once again, his starting position really does depend on what formation Koeman's going to play. He's not nailed on, but he does seem to be starting more and more regularly for them. Plays for PSV, and 41 games for PSV this season, 19 assists, and 7 goals as well. So, yeah. He played in 5 of the
pretty impressive.
Yeah, he played in 5 of the qualifying games and got 2 assists for them as well. 8 caps, 5 goal involvements for the Dutch since he's started his international career. So, yeah, nice cheap entry into the, that Dutch midfield, and they're going to score goals. They're always going to score goals in big tournaments, So,
yeah, I think the Dutch, if Koeman gets his starting 11 right, they're dark horses for the tournament.
Souček. Now, I know this is probably a bit of a wild card, and he is not going to appear in many teams. But we've all seen him play for West Ham, and hardly a glamorous acquisition, is he?
No, he's just a name, isn't he?
No, well, you've got to look at his record for the Czechs. He's integral to most things that they do. They are very good from corners, set pieces, big team, and Souček he'll be amongst it. And for the qualifying campaign, 8 games, 3 goals, 1 assist, no mug, and
3 goals against San Marino.
3 goals against San Marino.
Yeah.
Was it actually?
Probably not. No, I don't
know. You dirty bastard. So, yeah, Sesko. Obviously, he was being touted for a move to the Premier League. He said no the last few days. He's going to stay at Leipzig. And why wouldn't he? He's had a great season for them. 42 games, 18 goals, 2 assists in the Bundesliga. And for the qualifying campaign for Slovenia, he's their goal scoring machine. 9 games, 5 goals, and 2 assists for the 20-year-old who's, he's loving life. Already got 28 caps under his belt as well, so he's been amongst it for a while now. And then there's Dovbyk, who's a bit of a throwback, isn't he? He's a bit of a sort of an Ibrahimovic sort of like player. He's quite big, but got a hell of a touch, and controls the ball well, moves the ball well, and what a season he's had for Girona.
Yeah,
25 goals
in La Liga.
Sorry?
Top scorer in La Liga.
Top scorer in La Liga.
Now we'll go in a slightly different angle. We're going to have a look at some players that are registered as cheat codes, but for lots of different reasons, really. Either they're priced too cheap for one reason or another, penalty takers, or they basically play out of position, or finally, they're just, had a ridiculous season. So let's have a little look.
When you say they play out of position, you mean the InterDreamTeam game have identified, they've categorized the players in the wrong position.
Basically, yeah. So they've put them into the wrong position. They play much further forward, or they play much more attacking if they're defenders. Midfielders basically play strikers, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Can you see this? Okay.
I can see that, mate. That looks like an incredible sort of spreadsheet that someone's done there for us.
There we go. Big time spreadsheet. There's quite a few names on here that'll be very recognizable. I'm just going to scan over a few here, really.
And just to clarify, mate, this is a snapshot of our database that we're offering to players when they join our mini league.
It certainly is. And these are just a few of the players that are really recognizable for their form for one reason or another. So we'll start De Kuiper. He's had a very good season, lots of goal involvements, but also is looking reasonably likely that he's going to be starting for Belgium. In the group they're in, that could be a bit of a steal, but you need to keep a real close eye on that because you don't want to be sticking him in. He's not going to get any minutes, but that's what it seems to look like. So keep a close eye on that. But he's definitely one, and he's one who gets forward.
They're struggling,
Guardiola,
struggling at left back, aren't they? Struggling at left back. So he's
they
probably the only
are.
fit option.
Yeah, well, from Castagna, but Castagna also play at right back, can't he? So the little Czech, Krejci, I don't quite know how to say it, but very good season, £2 million. That is worth having a little look at that kind of price because he plays much further forward than you would think. He plays further up the pitch. So the Dutch boys here, it's this again. It's such a gamble, but the stats for Frimpong are pretty ridiculous. Dumfries in previous tournaments has been very dangerous. So these are two players that, and Frimpong actually sometimes plays part of a front three, and he's listed as a defender. So that's pretty interesting, really. But it's just a case of is that actually going to happen or not? He's only 3 million in an England defence in a decent group if they actually pull the fingers out. And the only reason he's that price is because Southgate had taken Maguire and he looked like he was nailed on to start. So that is a very much a different. He would have been priced higher if the dream team and they set the prices had known, then he would most definitely be priced at least $1 million more. Trent, if he plays, which it looks like most likely he's going to start, he's going to be in midfield and he's going to be on most of the set pieces and he'll be on free kicks, and he's probably one of the few England players who's actually come out of the friendlies who actually played reasonably well. Like played pretty good, decent. Rest of them are pretty much crap. So Klaus would be the differential for France, 3.5 million. Looking to me like I think he's going to get the nod at right back. Kunde, bit of a pig of a season, really. And, his dress code, Jesus Christ. I don't know. He obviously thought it was Halloween when he went to go and get on the plane, didn't he? So he deserves to be benched, if anything. So have a look at Klaus. 17 goal involvements for Lyon. I know it's in the Farmers League, but still, that's still decent. Lyon, I know, like Mugs, they're a decent side. So have a look at that. Now, everyone pretty much seems to be jumping on this lad from Germany, the old Mittelstad for Stuttgart. Not like setting the world alight with any of his stats particularly, but it does look like he's going to be the starter. It looks pretty nailed on. He has got competition in that area, but I think he's going to be the way into that German side. And then the Germans, very good squad. Now these couple of little Italians. Now they both basically play as wingers, and they bloody love it. They love to get forward, and basically anything attacking down the sides comes through either one of them. They're not the same team when neither of them play. And the Italian team aren't particularly special, apart from their wing backs, really. They're very good. And a lot of people aren't really talking much about the Italians. So have a little think about it. Have a little look at the fixtures. Because
just a tough group, though, isn't it? Like I was saying to you the other day, there's a couple of Spanish, there's a couple of Italians, maybe one Croatian I'd like to have a little look at, but I just can't touch Group C for me. Is it Group C?
I can't remember which group it is. I know it's a tough group, but that does lead you to think that a lot of the games are going to be tighter. So if you were going to go for an asset, your betting man would probably look at the defence.
Yeah.
And attacking defence, because you think they're going to keep it tight. You think in all of those games, like the Croatia, Italy, and Italy, they never concede loads of goals, really. It's the way they're set up. It's worth a consideration.
You put the curse on now, boy.
Now, probably again, the group is a problem. But I mean, is he a defender? Grimaldo, that is 29 goal involvements for Leverkusen this season. Most strikers would be ecstatic with that. That's
incredible.
That's silly. That's silly, if anything. That's greedy. Into the midfielders, it's a little bit more complicated when it comes to looking at midfielders and say actual cheat codes, because they're midfielders who get forward. But there's a few of these that, for different reasons, are gonna essentially hurt you if you don't own them. I would say Fernandez would be a classic example of that. His goals and assists, he's everywhere. He ended up finishing, I think, fourth or fifth in the Dream Team overall in the Premier League, and Man United were pretty shit for most of it. So I think you're taking a huge risk if you don't put Fernandes in your team. He's on, well, I say he's on penalties. Ronaldo is actually the number one penalty taker, but he's often not going to stay on the pitch the whole game, is he? But
That's right.
he's on the free kicks, most of the free kicks and the corners and everything as well. He doesn't really need it. He scores and assists in his own right. Griezmann behind Mbappe takes most of the set pieces and his backup penalty taker as well. Something to bear in mind, and everything goes through De Bruyne. So for that Belgium team, and probably, well, one of his last chances to really make his mark on the international scene. He really is expensive, but if Belgium are going to finally do something, he could be the man to push them to do it. So you might want to be, a lot of people have been looking at, your Bellinghams and stuff, but actually he's in very good form playing in that Belgium side. He might be one to look at. Loads of people have been talking about Wirtz, haven't they? 38 goal involvement. Having a laugh, aren't you? In 48 games. He's already notched up 5 goal involvements for Germany. He's 21. He's going to be in there. For me, controversially, maybe he's a better selection than Musiala. Rodri takes penalties for Spain. Nothing more than that, really. Xavi Simons, 25 goal involvements. Now, he's probably the thorn in the side when you're looking at your Frimpongs and people like that. And also you've got to, maybe think with the way he plays. And I think in the last game, I think he scored, maybe an assisted as well in his last friendly. He's really decent, still very young. I think he probably is going to play. It's just a case of, right, will he drop Depay? Will he play him? Will he put Frimpong and him in there together? That's going to be the question, really. I think he's going to definitely be involved. So on to some of the cheaper, less obvious ones in midfield, where a lot of people have already picked them up. Szoboszlai, very talented. Hungary's best player, takes penalties as well. There is an injury risk we've already seen, so we need to keep a close eye on that. Some people say he's a knock. Some people say he's got the shits. So we'll see. He might have had a dodgy schnitzel as well. So we don't actually know. Kalinoglu, penalty taker. Decent season as well. Was a lot of goals from midfield, and he almost plays as a striker. Veerman, very good stats. We've already discussed him and Tadic in the previous slide, so we won't go over them. But they're good options. Bakayoko for PSV, 28 goal involvements. Young, fast winger. He starts for me. Eriksson is actually penalty taker for Denmark. They're in England's group. Not really played much for United, has he? Just come back into fitness, but he's on everything. Denmark. So, and traditionally in recent years, they've been a very solid tournament team. So maybe a little bit of a one to watch there, especially at 3 million. 3 million for a team with the assets that Denmark actually have when you analyse their squad.
You've got to forget everything that you think you know about Christian Eriksen from the last couple of seasons at Man United, because he is a different player for his country. Just look at his international career there. 128 caps, 40 goals, 30 assists.
70 goal involvements.
This man's been integral for his country for years. He's come back from a cardiac arrest, died on the pitch at the last Euros. He is a true professional, and I think he is going to feel like he's got something to prove at this tournament. And do not overlook Christian Eriksen for 3 million. That is very nicely priced.
It certainly is. And if you watch much of the Europa League, you'll know a little bit about Cute Miners. He's a very, very decent player. Again, will he play? I don't think he is one for the round one.
No.
I think he's one to keep a little bit of an eye on as the tournament progresses, but he should really be playing. A lot will depend on De Jong's injury. So watch this space. We'll see what happens. Budget, Shaqiri. Have a word with yourself if you haven't had a little think about Shaqiri as you've laid your head on your pillow. All right. The little Swiss living it up in Chicago.
The Windy City, baby.
64 goal involvements in 121 internationals. He is on penalties. He's on the world. So 2.5 mil for a fairly solid outfit. You know, they've got the likes of a Kanji in their ranks. Very solid defence. So Jan Sommer.
Yeah.
Just Xhaka.
They've got players, mate.
They've got players, and they've got more players.
Could easily make it to the round of 16.
Very, very easily. Just don't forget about him because he's gone to play in America. So yeah, have a little think. And you know, last one, we've talked about Zagankov from Ukraine. Harrislin, decent stats, and does take a lot of the set pieces, and he's been one of their best players. So actually takes some of the penalties as well. So have a little word with yourself about that one. I can't see he's going to end up in many teams, but he is only 2 mil. So again, that's another one to consider. But I think a lot of these, some of them are just so the risks can be too much. You maybe want to see one round of games to see what you think. So there isn't many in here that I'm going to really highlight because they speak for themselves. I'm not going to say anything about Mbappe, Ronaldo, or Kane, Lukaku. We all know about these lads. The only thing I would say there is, you know, Ronaldo's grabbed himself a brace. Is that any real surprise? I think if you're thinking that he's not going to start and he's not going to play much, I think probably think again. I think if Ronaldo's going to a tournament, he ain't going to sit on the bench. He's not that sort of man. He'll sack the manager, he'll send him home and all the coaching staff, and he'll sub himself on. So Raspadori for Italy.
Raspadori.
Yeah, he's actually penalty taker. As long as he gets the nod. I know there's a bit of discussion about Scamacca. For me, he gets the nod. He gets the nod. He starts for the Italian side. He's got a good record. In his recent internationals, not a particularly good record in the domestic season, but I think he starts and he's on penalties in that Italian side. So 3.5 million worth of consideration. Just that's the only question is he going to start? But I'm pretty sure he's going to the way he plays. So we've gone over most of these others. Schick. Yeah, I mean, decent enough season. He's penalty taker for the Czechs.
Yeah.
This Georgian fella, whatever you want to call him.
Kvaratskhelia. He takes everything for them, and the slim chance they've got pretty much is sat on his head. So yeah, if you wanted a little risk on there, considering what good player he is, he's only 3 million, but Georgia, I don't give them a Scooby, really. Yeah.
And this little chap at the bottom for Albania at 1.5 million, decent stats for this Turkish side, and he's got a reasonable international record, and he's their penalty taker. So if you did want to, you know, you think actually, I think Sikaleshi is going to outscore Mbappe. Save yourself 6 mil, stick him in. Bosh, penalty taker. There you go.
Yeah, so, I think leave Sikalashi alone. Just leave him in the box. Like,
don't. Yeah, that's probably the takeaway. Is, you know, there's no harm going mental, but don't go too mental.
Right. So yeah, thanks for that, Ross. And yeah, those stats there, fresh from our InterDreamTeam player database that we've taken quite a few hours to put together and offer out to our viewers. So come and get your hands on it, guys. The database includes the complete international career stats, sorry about the spelling there, mate. The club form for the 23-24 season and qualifying campaign form for every player in the tournament. So 618 players, boy.
Yeah, that's too many, really.
Gargantuan.
Too many, if anything.
Yeah, you love me for coming up with that idea.
Yeah.
All right, so to get your hands on our database, all you have to do is join our mini league. We'll send you the pin over, and we'll send you the database over. It's 20 quid, cheap at half the price. At the moment, we're sort of pushing up towards £700 in the prize pool. So yeah, get amongst it, get on board, and yeah, come and join the fun. You can follow the ups and downs of the league on our YouTube channel. We'll be doing weekly videos throughout the tournament. So there you have it, guys. There's the info that you need to come and get involved. £20 entry fee into the league, and all the proceeds go to the prize fund. And we'll announce the prizes probably after the first kickoff. Yeah, Germany, Scotland on the 14th. So keep an eye on our socials, and yeah, come and get involved. All right, mate. Well, it's bloody upon us. Not long to wait now. What do you reckon? You sort of 70, 80% there with your team?
Yeah, I mean, I've got I think there's sort of 7 players that, you know, I know that I need to have in my team. I've just got sort of 3 or 4 sort of floating around that I'm not entirely happy about. I'll get to like 8 players on my team, and I'm like, yeah, that's the one. But then the sacrifices are not justified to then what I'm left with. So yeah, I'm going to be looking to finalise it tomorrow.
Anyway, right. Here we bloody go again. I'm not going to get invested in England. I'm not going to start believing that it's coming home. Oh, no, too late. I already fucking have. So, come on, boys. Come on, Gareth. Like, find some fucking personality in that pocket of yours. And, you know, we're blessed with attacking players. So let's play to our advantage and let's bloody go and attack some teams, yeah? Get Eze on the pitch as well. I want to see him. All right, mate. Well, look forward to watching as much football as I can. And I'm sure you will be as well. And yeah, join us again soon for another edition of InterDreamTeam. And, you know, come along and keep an eye on how you're getting on in our mini league. We'll be covering that throughout the tournament. So, yeah, all the best, guys. And, yeah, enjoy the footy. And may the points be with you.
Me and my mum and my dad and my gran.
We're off to Waterloo.
Me and me mum and me dad and me gran went off to Waterloo. Me and me mum and me dad and me gran and I'm back in the Vindaloo. Fuck it.